right now. Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
Hello and welcome in to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. I'm your host tonight, Cassidy Wood, joined alongside a special guest from The Fan, Paul Alexander. And Paul, this is our first time doing this together. Hi, how are you?
Yeah, it's a big occasion. Unfortunately, it's not a happy one.
Well, it is for soccer fans.
Yeah, there's that, except for that horrible red card that was called. A little controversy there. But yeah, U.S. is doing some good things in the World Cup.
Yeah, that's been fun to watch. But unfortunately for the Pirates, drop a second straight against the Phils, and this is a 4-game series, so they do have another crack at it tomorrow. But, you know, tonight was a Skeens night. It's a night where you have your ace on the mound. You expect great things, and instead 5 runs were scored in the second inning, one of them a 3-run home run. Just what do you think, how do you think Skeens did tonight? His velo has been down recently, and there's been some changes that he seems to have been made that haven't been positive ones so far, and we haven't really seen the Paul Skeens we've all known and come to love over last season really shine this season yet.
It's alarming. 6-12 in games that Paul Skeens has started for the Pirates this year. 37-32 in the games that Paul Skeens didn't start. So Paul Skeens is supposed to be the ace. Rookie of the Year his first year, Cy Young Award winner the second year. To me, it comes down to the only thing that's different about this year was the World Baseball Classic. His whole regime, his whole preparation for the season, he had to be at peak performance before spring training even started. So many people poo-poo that, oh, that's no big deal. You know, Paul Skeens is a horse. He was a catcher for most of his career. His arm's going to be fine. You know, the eye test told me he wasn't the same. He hasn't hit triple digits all year. Last year when he needed 101, he had it. He had it multiple times. He has not hit triple digits all year. To me, the velocity's down. The command is not there. I think he was really determined to find a way to go deep into games, and whatever he's done has backfired. Now, of course, they did change pitching coaches. So many people are going to go there. Please don't go there. Paul Skeens is in control of his own destiny. He trains the way he wants to. All right, he has his own catcher in Henry Davis, who had a home run tonight. He did his job tonight. No, this is all on Paul Skeens. Whatever it is that he's doing or whatever he gave up and lost at the World Baseball Classic, that's on him. I don't think there's any other places to go than him.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. I mean, the pitching coach, there was a change up there. Certain people seem to think that his approach and maybe the way he's warming up, maybe the way he's going into games has changed a little bit, and you're not really seeing that?
No, I don't think so. You know, his slot has gone down a little bit. He used to be up a little higher, you know, had a little more speed, a little more velocity. Now he's come down a little bit. I think that's a big part of it. He has changed his variety of pitches. He's changed his arsenal of pitches. You know, the splinker was a big deal last year. He's hardly using it all this year. Whatever he's doing isn't working. So he's still a great talent. He's certainly still above average pitcher. But right now, he's part of the problem. He's not the solution right now. I can't believe I'm even saying that right now.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would be shocked to even hear that we're talking about Paul Skeens the way we are right now at this point in the season. I mean, we're over halfway through the season. How do you remedy this if you're Paul Skeens? How do you get out of this slump? I mean, you have, you know, half of the season left. Is there a way to turn it around before it gets too late?
To me, it's real simple. You go back to the video from your rookie year in the bigs, last year when you won the Cy Young. Get back to your basics. Get back to what you've always done. Wherever the velocity is, you've lost it. Try to find it. Reach back and find a little more. Obviously, you don't want to risk injury. I think that's, you know, people are so preoccupied with, you know, resting pitchers, pitch counts, all those kind of things. Let him just, you know, just let him throw the ball. Be Paul Skeens. I think that's what is missing. His arsenal is not the same. He needs to get back to where he was. I don't know if that's an easy solution. Get in the video room, take a look at what you did 2 years ago, what you did last year. Try to get back to basics. Fundamentals, any athlete will tell you, when things go a little bit crazy, things get a little bit off, go back to fundamentals. Those are always the most important things. Those always are the key. Release point, you know, the arm slot, all those kind of things make all the difference in the world.
Yeah, agree with you there. Hopefully he does that and there's a way he can turn this around, like I said, before it gets too late. All right, guys, with that, we're going to head to our first break. Give us a call, 412-575-2600. We want to hear from you guys, and we'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the Nightly Sports Call. This is our Xfinity tweet of the night from Just Baseball. Paul Skeens in 9 starts since May 17th. 47 innings pitched, 51 hits, 28 earned runs, a 5.36 ERA and a 1.4 WHIP. He allowed a career high 7 earned runs versus the Phillies tonight. So not great right now for Paul Skeens. I'm joined alongside Paul Alexander, and in the first segment we talked a lot about Skeens and hopefully how he can remedy this and get back on track. And with that, we do have quite a few callers tonight likely wanting to discuss Paul Skeens and hopefully that track back to the right path. So with that, let's go out to the phone lines. Our first caller, we have Bob in the North Hills, wants to talk Bucko ball. Hi, Bob.
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, I just wanted to say, you know, the Unions were talking about the pitching staff. They were like, it's just not Skeens, it's everybody. Like, I think that when they fired that the last pitching coach, they were doing really good last year. And I think that, you know, having Henry Davis, they should have traded Henry Davis instead of Joey Bart. And, you know, I don't know. It just seems like every time Henry Davis is in her, they lose.
Yeah, unfortunately, Bob, tonight that was not the case. Henry Davis actually hit a home run, his 7th of the season. So, yeah, his batting average is low right now, but he is hitting bombs when he needs to thus far as of recently. And at the end of the day, he's the catcher that Paul Skeens wants to throw to, and he's the guy that Skeens has kind of deemed as #1 guy. So you're not going to give someone like that up, right, Paul?
Baseball's a very funny dynamic. If the pitchers aren't pitching well, it's on the coach. If they're pitching well, it's all because they're great. The coach never gets credit when things go well. I'm just not going there. Paul Skeens won Rookie of the Year, Cy Young. He was a generational talent. He had done things in his first 2 years that no one has ever done in the history of Major League Baseball. And if you want to put that all on a coach, I'm just not going there. The only thing that's been different to me, the World Baseball Classic, which made him get into peak performance even before spring training started. Somehow that messed him up. I'm sorry, that's what I'm going to stick to because that's the only thing that's different. Okay, the coach is different, but Ray Miller, the great former Pirate pitching coach, said, I'll help 3 pitchers, I'll hurt 3 pitchers, I'll have no effect on the other 3. Even the pitching coaches don't take themselves that seriously.
Yeah. Yeah, and, you know, maybe he just is exhausted. Baseball is a very long season, and having to start all the way back at the World Baseball Classic, it might put you out a little bit. All right, let's go back out to the phone lines. We have Fitz in Peters. Hi, Fitz.
Yeah, I have to agree with Paul, but I'm thinking, you know, Skeens has got to get back to what he did originally, which was, you know, his pitchers that were doing so well. Maybe we could trade him for a couple of those great Japanese players that are hitting the heck out of the ball. Otherwise, he needs to go back to the barn and figure it out. I don't know what he's doing, but, hey, kudos to the soccer team tonight. Oh, my gosh, coming back with 1 down, red card, looking good there, I tell you what. So I'll take that. Skeens, I'll trade him for 2 Japanese home run hitters, and I'm ready to go.
Oh, man. I do like the energy surrounding the World Cup and Team USA. They definitely punched their ticket to the round of 16, so they will play on Monday again, which is very exciting. It's nice being the host site of the World Cup. It's definitely been really exciting to watch so far. But, yeah, I mean, like we've been saying, you know, Skeens, unfortunately, is not playing like we're used to seeing him play, and hopefully he can turn that around. We do have one more caller I want to squeeze in here. We have Steve from Texas. Hi, Steve.
Hello, how you doing, guys? Now, the question I have is, you know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and not getting any results. My question is it time for Donnie Kelly to sit down with Paul Skeens and says, going forward, Andy Rodriguez is your catcher? We got to change up something, guys, because like Paul said, you know, out of the 18 games he started, we only won 6, so something got to change.
Yeah, I don't know if changing up the catcher is really going to do much. What about you, Paul?
It makes sense. I mean, Andy's obviously doing a much better job offensively, but Paul Skeens is not throwing the ball nearly as hard as he did before, not nearly as accurately as he did before. The catcher's not going to make the difference, but I have no problem with going with Endy at catcher because right now he is the better play there because of what he's doing offensively. But, offense, believe it or not, after all these years of just begging for the Pirates to do something to get some bats, they're the third best offense in all of baseball.
Isn't that crazy?
Offense is not the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy wanted to trade for a couple Japanese hitters. We have hitters. The pitchers are the problem right now. The bullpen's awful. Starting pitching not much better. It's crazy the way things turn around.
Yeah, speaking of the bullpen, Dennis Santana, I mean, what's the answer there? It gives up another 2 runs in the 9th inning. I feel like we have not seen him play well ever since, he climbed up in the stands last year.
No, and he got the first 2 guys out with strikeouts. He threw a fastball 97, which we haven't seen all year. Then he managed to give up a couple of runs. That bullpen has been as unpredictable and unexplainable as anything I've seen in a long time. The one thing the Pirates always did, going all the way back to 13, 14, and 15, they always put together a good bullpen, even when they weren't a very good baseball team. This year is not the case.
Yeah, offensively, though, too, I mean, a lot of guys have been hitting really well, but Jared Triolo has struggled recently. But in the month of June, he's moved that batting average up to 288. He had a 2 RBI double tonight. So something's working with Jared Triolo as of late, it seems like.
And the good news is he can actually catch the ball. I mean, the one thing that Philadelphia showed, defense matters. Their defense was incredible. They stole runs from the Pirates by playing really good defense. And once again, the Pirates a little bit shaky defensively. Nicky G, another problem tonight, gives up 7 runs, 7 earned, but he also gave up another unearned run. And a lot of Paul Skeens starts going way back to his opening start when O'Neill Cruz kind of did him dirty. This defense is not good. This bullpen isn't good. And right now the pitching is just the problem, which it's hard to even imagine when you looked at the Pirates going into this season. Pitching was a strength. It's just not been the case.
Yeah, agree with you there. All right, with that, we're going to head to our last break. Please give us a call, 412-575-2600. If you want to talk Pirates, maybe some Pens with NHL free agency starting today or some World Cup, anything you want to talk about, give us a call, 412-575-2600. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to the Nightly Sports Call. I'm your host tonight, Cassidy Wood, joined alongside Paul Alexander. And Paul, for most of the show, we've been talking about Skeens and what he can do to remedy the slump that he's been in. And the Pirates, I mean, it's just so crazy. It's like the script has flipped in one season. I mean, last year we were screaming that the team needed run support, and then they went out and got these bats, and now it's the pitching and the bullpen that is the issue. And I mean, it doesn't seem like there's many options out there for relief pitching right now, and there's really doesn't seem many options for this front office to make any moves to kind of relieve those issues in the bullpen right now.
Well, Cassidy, the problem is their schedule's so tough, right up until the trade deadline. They might play themselves right out of being a buyer at the trade deadline. So they might be looking for 2027, unfortunately, because if they're not at least 500 or above by the trade deadline, they're probably going to be sellers. They're probably not going to go after Chapman or someone like that to try to fortify the bullpen. This is a very crucial part of the season. They need to finish pretty strong. A win tomorrow would be a great start in that direction, but the schedule really gets tough over the next probably 2 weeks or so. And if they falter, if they fall 6 games under 500, they're going to have to be sellers at the deadline instead of buyers.
Yeah, and if they're doing that, it looks like they would be going into yet another year of a rebuild, year 7 under Ben Cherington. I mean, at that point, what does this organization look like? What are the answers for the organization from, a 1,000-foot lens?
Well, I think that they're showing that they're not that far away. I mean, when you're the 3rd best offensive team in all of Major League Baseball, you have some things to build on. Lau's going to be a guy that's going to be able to name his price in free agency. They didn't lock him up like they should have, but they have a lot to build around. I mean, Connor Griffin's 20 years old. My goodness, this guy's going to be incredible. O'Neill Cruz. I mean, they're doing all this, offensively with him being on the shelf for almost a month. So offensively, they're in pretty good shape. They're going to have to really rely on some of these young pitchers to figure things out. Jared Jones, Bubba Chandler, they have to get better. Ashcraft has been outstanding, but they need a lot of pieces in the bullpen. They got to get Skeens right. They're not as far away as they may appear. They've been frustrating because they've lost a lot of games they should have won. but that means they're not that far away.
Yeah, maybe not that far away. And it kind of feels like the Penguins might not be as far away as we think. I mean, last season, it was more electric than I think a lot of people expected, getting those off-season acquisitions, guys that were maybe towards the end of their careers, but then came in, Anthony Mantha, and just, you know, put up, I think he finished with 31 goals, just stuff you didn't really expect to see among these guys. And then in this draft, just a lot of hype around the draft, getting the Ruck twins. First time an NHL team has drafted twins since '99. That was exciting to see. And it does feel like, you know, their prospect camp is going on this week. Today was the first day of NHL free agency, and it does kind of feel like there's some hype around this Penguins team right now.
Cassidy, it's a real tough tightrope walk that they're walking right now. They're going to keep the older guys around at least one more year, so that attempt to get younger, faster, stronger is kind of hindered by that. So Kyle Dubas has done a nice job. They exceeded expectations last year, even making the playoffs. They were considered to be the 5th worst team preseason last year before it began. Then they go ahead and make the playoffs. They fall behind the Flyers, and then they can't finish the deal there. But they don't seem to be a contending team to me yet. They're too old, too slow. They need to get younger and faster, and that takes time. You can't just do that in one fell swoop. You can't do it in one draft. You can't do it in one free agency period. They're going to be kind of a mix between, you know, some good young players and some not so good older players. I don't know how that's going to work out.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looked like last season for a minute there, just having Ben Kindle, an 18-year-old on the team, playing against the big three who had been playing together for 20 seasons. So they've been on a team longer than he'd been alive, which was very wild. But he also had a pretty incredible regular season. Tough in the playoffs for him, but he's a young kid, and, you know, going in Stanley Cup playoffs, how aggressive and how intense those runs have to be very eye-opening and awakening for a young kid like Kindle. So for him to get that kind of experience last year, you know, he can go into this season and be a little bit more of a leader, maybe a little bit more of a vet than a normal second-year, you know, 19-year-old would be.
Yeah, he was a great surprise, a very pleasant surprise. The problem is, they need 3 or 4, you know, more Ben Kindles to be a contending team.
Yeah, agree with you there. Well, hopefully the Pirates can turn this thing around against the Phillies tomorrow. And yeah, the prospect camp with the Pens continues on tomorrow. They will have that tournament on Friday, and Team USA, let's go Team USA. Hopefully they win on Monday and keep this thing rolling. Paul, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Thank you guys for watching. That does it from Cassidy Wood and Nightly Sports Call. I'll see you guys next time.